Okay, I see it. Alrighty, so we're at 4:11 and we'll call the committee of the whole meeting to order.
211 here.
Oh yeah, sorry, I keep doing that. 2:11. And we'll start by acknowledging that we are privileged to meet on the unceded and ancestral territories of the Squamish and Stallion Nations. And we have an agenda for approval.
I move that the agenda of this meeting be approved.
Thank you, Cynthia. Is there a seconder?
Oh, that was Lisa.
Cynthia
Oh,
will second.
sorry. So Lisa moved and Cynthia second?
There you go.
Okay, there we go. All those in favor? Okay, then done. So then we have a set of minutes for approval.
That the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting held November 9th, 2022 be adopted.
Thank you, Lisa. Is a second for that? April, thank you. All those in favor? And carried. So that brings us to trustee items. I did not receive anything, so I don't think there's anything there, unless someone wants to add. Okay. And we have no presentations. So then that brings us to our information items. Danielle, looks like you're talking about the trustee calendar.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. Okay, so just a reminder for everybody, tonight is the custodial dinner. It's going to be held here. The custodians will be joining us in this room here. So we just have to try to make sure that our in-camera meeting is wrapped up for like around, well, they'll be here at 5. So we have to make sure we're done early, or I think right now our in-camera meeting is scheduled to go to 4:30. So we have a tight timeline. Just wanted to point that out. You may have noticed that in the trustee calendars, there's now these trustee orientation webinars put I think it's in everybody's calendars. So we're expecting details to be coming out on that soon. And I believe those are optional. Okay. And we have a few conferences that Rebecca is scheduled to go to, but she won't be able to attend. So we just wanted to bring that up. So one of them was the BCPC AGM. It's January 26th to 27th at the Coast and Cole Harbor. And that must be attended by somebody who's not in conflict with any of the unions. So I just wanted to see, and I believe that's only Rachel and Cynthia. I'm not sure if one of you can attend. Just wanted to see.
The date again?
The date's January 26th to 27th, and it's a BCPC AGM. And that's where they there's an election happening, and it has to be attended by somebody, a trustee who is not in conflict with any of the unions. And I believe the only people that are able to. Are you able to?
Yeah, I'm not in conflict.
Okay, there we go.
Are not currently.
That's right.
Oh, we have this here.
They're both administrators, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found out that I'm not.
Okay, so April, Cynthia, and Rachel are is anyone interested in attending or able to attend that day? Or do you need to get back to us?
Oh, if April,
Cynthia?
I've been in the past and it is really interesting. However, I do have a conflict on that day.
What was the date again?
January 26th and 27th. It's in Vancouver at the Coast Cole Harbor.
Yeah.
So why don't we pencil you in and then you can.
Yeah, I don't
Get
have
back to-
conflict until February, so I should be good.
Okay, so
Awesome.
April will schedule in for that one.
Terrific.
Okay. Great. Okay, one more. There's a BCSTA all chairs meeting February 9th and a BCSTA partner liaison meeting. So the all chairs meeting, usually there's at the same day, there's like usually a secretary treasurer's meeting. So usually I'll go to that and the chairs go to the other one. And then the second day, there's a BCSTA partner liaison meeting on February 10th. And that would be attended by Chris Nicholson, myself, and normally the chair. But I believe, Rebecca, you're away till March. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we'll need somebody else that they can attend. It will be February 9th and February 10th. And
So
that's
that-
also in Vancouver.
That would normally be the vice chair.
Yes,
Right, according
vice
to our
chair. Vice chair, are you able to attend?
What time are we starting on Feb 9th? 9. At 9? February 10 for sure. The 9th is a little bit tricky.
And do we need to have no conflict? Is that,
No, I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be chair or vice chair if possible. I don't think there is.
But again, we can get the agenda to you because it may be that the 9th is just, I mean, not just, it's important, but it might just be meet and greet. It might not be the substantive stuff maybe happening on the 10th.
Yeah.
So,
I think
No, 9th
that's-
is all chairs. It's usually,
oh, is it?
Rebecca went to the all chairs one. Do you remember? Remember when we went that last year? You went to the all chairs one. Do you remember? Or did
No,
you?
I don't.
I think I didn't go to the all chairs, but I went to the liaison last.
Oh,
year.
yes,
I think
Rebecca,
that's
you
how it
went.
happened.
You went to that one.
They change them up all the time. So, and there's so many that I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Let
So
me
you-
just see if I can I just have to like fuss a schedule, but
Okay, so Cynthia will
2
see if she
seconds.
can make it and we'll see how that goes.
I don't mind stepping up for that.
Okay, and then if we can't,
We have an alternate. Thank you.
okay, great. Thanks so much, Cynthia and Lisa. Okay. And then I just wanted to check, does anyone have any questions about, I'm going to go through a couple other things, but like so far, is there any questions about what we've gone through or what's in your events that I put out there? No?
Do
Lisa?
you want me to bring it up at this meeting about events that get shared?
Oh, no.
All members
Yeah, we're going to talk about.
We'll talk
one
about that
in-
in camera.
later?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to make sure I don't.
Yeah.
Tap into things.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah.
is this a good time to bring up? I have a conflict for the school learning plan.
Yes, we'll get to that in a
January?
sec.
Or- Okay, not yet. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I just wanted to thank everybody who's already attended winter concerts or who will be attending winter concerts this week. And then just a couple other things. So there's a campaign financing summary form in the agenda. I'm hoping most of you have already filled that in relation to your elections. So if you haven't done so already, please fill it in and send it to Elections BC. The deadline for that is January 13th, and there's a penalty of $500 if you don't do it in time. So please get that done. I know a number of you have already done it.
You don't need to.
Yeah. So
You don't need to.
Yeah, there's just one for if you've spent and one for, so you have to do either or. Yeah. Sorry, Cynthia?
just a comment on that. After I sent it in to Elections BC, they sent me back an email to confirm that I received it. And then I got another email from, I think it was the elections coordinator in Whistler, asking me to forward on the email from the ministry that said they'd received my form to them.
So the municipality's checking in on it?
I guess maybe that's what it is. I don't know
Okay.
if anybody else has come across that, but keep your eyes open for because it's like you have to report it to 2 different places. So I don't know if that's happening in other places, but it was,
Oh, okay.
I'll ask our
Yeah.
elections officer, thank you.
And I know that I submitted mine. Is there a way to see that it's all good?
They would email you back.
Okay.
So they emailed, I know Celeste back, they emailed.
yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Back.
I got an email back as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Yeah. So
confirming.
tell Rebecca she needs to send it to like the Whistler elections person or somebody also.
To who?
I think that's.
I assume you're talking to
Rachel, you mean?
Or Rachel, sorry. Yeah, Rachel.
I'm like, Rebecca doesn't
Yeah,
send it
like,
to Whistler.
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just a reminder, everybody, make sure you get that done. Otherwise, there's a penalty. Also, there's a statement of financial disclosure that's for our school district, and that has to be filled in every year by each trustee. So the link to the form is in there, and that's that actually goes to our finance director, Elena Medin, and that due date is January 15th. So it's just there's a form in there, and it's talking
Yeah.
about, it's in the agenda. You can click on it. There's a link to the form. If you need help with filling it out or anything, just let us know. No problem. We
And
can
then-
help you.
Do we email it to Elena?
You can email it to Archie or myself or Lena, any one of us. Yeah. Okay. Great. And okay, just a reminder, we have our partner group meeting coming up. And I think that was February 15th. Yeah, February 15th. It's gonna be February 15th in the evening. That one's gonna be in person in Whistler. think we're having it here at the Whistler Secondary School. Is that right? Archie? Are they here? Yeah, it's gonna be here. And yeah, so we're able to also like get the space already. So that's good to go. So expect more information on that to come. And then
Danielle, can I just jump in for a sec?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I just want to be, I won't be in the country. But just want to so for the new trustees in particular, that I find huge value in those meetings and hearing from our partners and from the kids through to parents, through, to the unions. I find that I learn a lot from it. So hopefully you're able to attend.
Mhm.
Sorry, are you referring to the partner group meeting or the BCSTA partner liaison meeting?
It's the February 15th
Okay.
partner group meeting.
The partner group
Thank you.
meeting, that's where we are on the agenda. So that's
Yeah,
that meeting.
Sorry, I just blanked out for a minute there looking at the financial thing.
It's easy.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. Go ahead, Danielle.
Thanks for your plug, Rebecca. Okay. And then, so normally when we have like a new board, we put everyone through Robert's rules training. So we've already registered everybody for it, and it's scheduled for March 6th. And it's pretty much a whole day. It's online from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've already registered everybody. So please check your calendars. Let me know if for whatever reason, if that date doesn't work for you, then you won't they only put it sessions on like twice a year. So if it doesn't work for you, you'll have to wait till the next year or something like that. But please let me know if that doesn't work for you, and then we can cancel yours. Okay. So please email either myself or Archie, or both of us preferably. If anybody knows now that they're not available, that'd be good to know. No?
Yeah, I'm not. It's most likely I'll be that'll be about around the day I'm flying. So
Okay. Anyone else know they won't be attending?
it's also quite lengthy, is it not?
Sorry?
It's quite expensive and quite lengthy.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the price. Actually, it's in the agenda. I think it's like $400. It's a full day. It's a full day online, pretty much.
Yeah.
You have to pretty much focus on it too.
And what is that, a Monday? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a Monday. Yeah.
And sorry, you said this was Zoom, correct?
This will be on Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Are we registered?
Yeah, I've registered everybody. So
It fills up quick, so it was just
I wanted to take all the seats.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I see
so-
it's sold out, so that's why I'm asking.
That's sold out because of us. Yes.
Also do a-
You can just sell out a webinar.
So Rebecca won't be attending, and then just if anyone else can't attend that day, let us know as soon as possible so we can cancel. Okay. Okay, next one is school learning plan meetings. So we just wanted to see if anyone had any scheduling issues, specifically if there's any issues around the January 18th one, because that's coming up very soon. But if there's any other ones, please let us know now so we can move things around. No, there's
Just in-
You have the. You can share.
do you have this?
Oh,
Pass this to Kendra? Thank you.
Are they always on Wednesdays?
Yeah, we try to make them the same as board meeting days.
Yeah.
So that people just kind of,
Keep your
Wednesdays are my busiest day of the year, of the week.
So we did our best to take folks, asks into consideration, but then also wanted to give, a wide variety of schools for folks, especially some of our really little schools where neat things are happening. So you'll see some opportunities for our newer trustees to attend. I just want to make a point that for the staff, those are placeholders where we did our best to spread people out, but staff tends to change because of course other things do come up for us, and we want to make sure that we're attending to things we need to be attending to. So just know that your friends or colleagues going with you may
change.
change.
Yeah. And I just have, unless things change, I'm scheduled to meet with Dave and the QP members for bargaining that day,
Which day was that
It's
one?
really important to know. Of
January 18th.
Yep. course.
Yeah, so unless things change with that date, I think
Yeah.
we can discuss where the priority lays.
We'll see where we're sitting.
And decide where I should go. Yeah, you want to leave it like that?
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm happy to do either.
Does anyone else have any scheduling issues with January 18th right now? No. Rachel?
I do, yeah. I already told Ashley though. I have a wedding that day, so I can't.
Okay, January 18th wedding. Okay. Oh, you're not
you go.
scheduled
You're
for
not-
any that day on
Took
purpose.
care of you.
There you go. Any other scheduling issues that you see? Has anyone seen? Well, take a look if you haven't and let us know as soon as possible so we can start moving stuff around. Okay. And then another note on that. So we encourage you to carpool. So if you see another trustee going or whatever, if you can carpool, or you could even try to carpool with us if we're able to. And if you end up driving, we will reimburse you for mileage. Okay. School learning plan. Okay, that's all it for information items. Becca, so.
Okay, thank you. So next up, we have some discussion items. And the first one is the branch meeting. Cynthia, I see your name there.
Yeah, Cynthia.
Sorry, yeah. Yes, sorry. Melissa and I were just having a chat. Yes, the South Coast branch. We had our meeting during the academy, and it was nice to see everyone. It was nice to get some updates. And we were asked if we wanted to go back to our boards and have a conversation about when we should have our next meeting date, if we wanted to meet in between now and AGM, or if we felt that waiting until AGM would be appropriate and just schedule our meeting for then for AGM. And so I will open it up to discussion if anyone has any thoughts or feelings on when they would like to meet again with the South Coast branch.
Is there any agenda items or wasn't there?
No, nothing pending. The South Coast branch does have a motion that they've been working on with relation to trustee remuneration. But other than that, I don't think there was anything pressing that came out of that meeting that needed attention. In the past, a lot of our meetings in between have just sort of been an opportunity to listen to what the other districts are doing and bring up any comments or suggestions, concerns, have a discussion about maybe having collaboration on any kind of a motion that we might like to bring forward, and that if we brought the motion forward from the 3 districts, maybe it has more weight when it's submitted at AGM.
I think over the years, there's been a couple that we've submitted as a branch. But as you guys may have noticed at Academy, when we had to break out into our branches, we're pretty small.
Yeah, it is definitely, I think we're the smallest branch with
There
just
was
3
another
districts.
one. When I went to the chairs meet and greet, they had us separate out into branches, and there was one other that had 3.
I think is that Kootenays maybe?
I
Anyhow.
can't recall.
Any
I think it might
thoughts?
have been that like Haida Gwaii, that area.
Any feelings one way or the other about the need to meet in between April yet?
Well, the only thing is that I wouldn't mind having a date set as a placeholder because people get busy, right? So if we set a placeholder date between now and April, and then if nothing is pertinent and there's no reason to meet, it's easier to cancel the date than try to find a date. So
Okay.
that would be sort of what I would think, that we should put a date in as a placeholder in case we need it.
Okay. Any other comments?
I think that, well, I have no problem with a placeholder date in case. But then that means that we got to make sure that the rest of the branch is in agreement to doing that. That being said, I can't see anything coming up that would mean that we need to meet prior to AGM. And I think we just go ahead and meet at AGM.
Sorry, through the chair, I think part of that discussion was around if there's a motion that we need to piggyback onto. And having that opportunity to have the meeting before the agenda items and bylaws, et cetera, are set. So that we can all champion something as a collective rather than an individual voice. So if one of us has something that we're passionate enough about, having that placeholder meeting, so at least we've given them ample time to have their board meeting, to have it discussed and communicated and vetted through staff, and then also being put through to the bylaws for funding allocations or what have you. I think the messaging I understood was we were trying to do it to be a better, bigger voice if needed.
Okay.
Was that, did I miss that?
So do we know when motions are due? Because then we'll have to work backwards from that date.
February 20.
I think it's February 14th. Did I say calendar?
Thank you.
It's either the 14th or the 25th.
Yeah, I'll just jump in just pointing. It's a really good one that you made. And I want to ensure that everyone is clear that despite the size of your branch, your vote is of equal weight. So it's not about a stronger voice, it's about an equal voice. And and from my experience, the last few years, 6 years, 5 years being here, I don't believe it's actually been an issue around having to meet in between meetings. I think that I will acknowledge that one of our sister branches has a specific item that they've been looking for support for a number of years. And I think this is an opportunity to provide the other branches with more information and their rationale for that. So I think, that they will be coming with something to discuss. So, this board can determine whether they'd like to be a part of that or not. So I think the placeholder makes sense. But I also want to remind you that you are your own board, and you can also say, you know what, we think we support the motion, but actually don't feel we need a meeting. So I wouldn't commit to extra meetings. I like the idea of the placeholder. So that gives you the out if you don't feel it's necessary as a team.
And then in the meantime, with the one motion that I think it's Sunshine Coast has been looking for it. That maybe at a future meeting we can have a conversation about what our thoughts are on
Right.
on their recommendation.
Your AGM is February 24th.
No. That's the submission
Oh,
deadline.
sorry. Sorry, the submission date. I mean, thank you. You're trying to slide it over to me and I messed that up.
25th. So,
Sorry?
AGM's in April.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if we want to have something go to the AGM, we have to do it by February 24th. So we would have to meet before then.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe we could have an item on the agenda for January to have a discussion about that motion.
Okay.
And then in the meantime, would you like me to email back to Stacia?
Good job.
Anastasia. I know, that's what I just did. Stacia.
Stacia.
Stacia, I could email her back that if we'd like to have a placeholder set into the calendar, and if there's pertinent information around motions, is that like the only reason we would meet? Because to be perfectly honest, I find this a really long meeting with not a lot of new news, so to speak.
Yeah. I think you've nailed it there, Cynthia.
Okay, so we're happy.
I know in past when we're trying to put out a poll to find a date for the 3 boards who meet in different times. It can be quite challenging. So I would suggest that this be done sooner than later.
Okay, so I didn't quite hear. So she said
She
email
yeah,
back quickly.
she suggests do it sooner than later.
Okay, yeah, I can email her like on our break. or
Because it's
something.
hard to organize between the 3 boards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can even send her an email on our break today if that's what we're all comfortable with. Okay,
That
placeholder,
works for me. Is everyone else okay with that idea?
placeholder.
Any objections? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, Cynthia.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. If there's nothing else, we can move on to the next agenda item, which is the board committee appointment. So I did speak to most or all of the trustees on like if they're mostly behind of limitations if you can't meet, as some of the committees are you know, we're invited in to attend as a trustee representative, but it's their meeting that they're running. So it might not be on a Wednesday like we're accustomed to. And yeah, so if we got that sent out and have our representatives, just want to know if anyone had anything to add. I try to be as balanced as possible. Sharing the workload, except there are specific ones that it's for the chair and vice chair. So, do we need to do anything with it? It's just information.
It's your prerogative as the chair to make the appointment. So unless there's some questions around that for you from your board, it doesn't require a motion or approval because it's your prerogative as the elected chair.
Thanks, Chris. I did see April hand up.
The dates will just be put in our calendar for whenever those things happen, correct?
Mhm.
That's
Yes,
my only worry is I'm gonna miss something, but.
for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
And are these
Yeah.
in person or over Zoom or both?
Depending on the committee, some are in person, some are on Zoom, and some may even be hybrid. So I think it just depends on the committee. Most of them have been obviously on Zoom, but we're really trying to get back to some of them being in person because we value being together in community, especially if there's a meal attached to it when you break bread. We know the power of that. So I don't know, Rebecca, if you know the answer to all of those, because I think some are still up in the air, just depending on how things are going. But in the past, they've been in person, but we appreciate due to distances and concerns, especially in the winter time around safety, that where we can support hybrid, we will.
Thank you.
That's my coverage answer for which is kind of a non-answer, but
For
it
me,
depends.
so-
So
Daycare.
fair.
So
I
then
can drive in
what'll-
anything. Daycare.
So what'll happen is as the dates become known, Archie will send out invites to whoever is on the committee. Okay,
Great.
there's nothing else. We can move on to the BCSTA debrief. And we're just gonna try, if possible, to keep it to 2 to 3 minutes, somewhere in there if you can. And just want to get your feedback on it. So I will go through, I'm just gonna look at my screen and work through it. So Melissa, we're gonna start with you.
Yay. The biggest thing that I took out of Academy was really being with all of you and forming those relationships. I found that was really essential to my being able to come into this room and fully trust everyone and trust that anything I say won't be ridiculed or held against me, that it will be, if it's not the right place to say something, that I'll be told in a respected way. So I thank all of you for that. For me, being new and being who I am, that was the biggest thing I took out of this. As for the breakouts, I really loved the ones that were really simplified. Just because just going into it new, didn't really know what to expect. So those ones I found really stuck with me a lot more, and where people were able to speak to each other and really go over things. I thought that was really great. The only thing that I didn't like was when people were just standing there talking to us and or talking off of slides. And I think that that's like anything. And we know that from our children too, that that's not how we learn. So that was my only real criticism, was just those ones where there was no engagement. It was just being talked at. But otherwise, I thought it was wonderful. It was a great way to be introduced into this. Thank you.
Awesome, Melissa. Thank you so much. So moving around, then we're going to Cynthia.
Hey, thanks, Rebecca. I thought it was a fantastic conference. I liked how they broke everybody out in the beginning. Although at first I didn't like it. I thought, oh, I would much rather be with the people who are new to our board and be with them. But the information that we gathered in that first morning was quite good. And I came away with a couple of books that I want to read. One of them is called Street Data. Have you guys read that?
Yes.
Is it good? Is it worth it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll read that. And then
Anything by Shane Saphir is worth reading.
okay, good to know. So I'm going to get that and read that. Some of the interesting ideas that I heard talked about, one of the things that they mentioned was a budget boot camp. Sorry, Danielle, I'm not going to add any more things to your plate at all, but I thought it was an interesting idea. And they said, invite all your stakeholders and explain how budgeting works. I think we do that to a pretty large extent with like our partners group meeting and with those great infographics and things. But anyway, that struck a chord. Oh, and then I have a question. Who is Davis Campbell?
No,
He works with Michael Fullen, is what my note is on governance. So that was like a curiosity. It must have meant something because I wrote it down. And okay, so that, and then some of the other key takeaways. Change will not happen if it is not top down. Change will not happen if it is not top down. Yep. Build the base, engage the middle, and intrigue the top. So that was from Shelley Moore. I really liked that. Awesome as always is what I wrote about Shelley Moore's presentation. And Chief Cadmus Delmore, also incredible. The quote I have here is, truth must prevail and be accepted before we can arrive at reconciliation. So he was terrific, and I think well worth having come and speak. I thought it was like a really, really good academy. I think one of the better ones that I've attended, all things being equal with COVID. So that's it.
That's awesome, Cynthia. Thank you so much.
Oh, the one thing I meant to mention about South Coast Branch. Sorry, this is still about it. They're also rebranding. For anyone who wasn't there, they're planning on a rebrand, changing it from BCSTA Trustees Association to BCSBA School Board Association. So if you have any comments, concerns, or questions about that, email BCSTA and let them know. All right, now I'm actually really done.
Thank you. I'll move to April.
Hey, I'm going to concur with everything Cynthia and Melissa said all the way across. I completely agree with Melissa. The first day where we did the World Cafe I was so engaged in moving around and meeting different people, even though we had to sit at the Green Balloon, which at the beginning, I don't ever like to be identified as anything, but I was identified by the Green Balloon as a newbie, which I refused to wear the new person button. But anyway, that's another ball thing. I just don't like the whole identification thing. But
I liked the button.
having said that, because we sat with all the Green Balloons, we did get a good sense of some of the basics of what becoming a school trustee action means and what your responsibilities are. So I appreciate that they had to kind of, segregate us out for that purpose. And we did speak to some, I can't remember the name of the Indigenous fellow on the board, but he was fantastic. And he started by saying something about find out what SB 48 means. There's a connection to the land that SB 48 stands for. And I still haven't been able to find that out. He said every district has, your number was specifically given to you because of its connection to the land. And so find out what that is. And that's a challenge that I get to get anywhere with, and maybe as a group we can figure that out. But it was intriguing. I, through my teaching career, have been to so many professional learning opportunities. I've been blessed with all of that learning that I've had. Not to say that Chief Cavness, I still think about what he said, and I've shared his stories, which I also really liked, that as an Indigenous person, he delivered his stand and deliver, but he delivered it through story, which to me felt more authentic. And I listened to another fellow the second day, like when it was more stand and deliver and not the World Cafe, and he delivered his in a stand and deliver. And I thought, okay, this one, the Chief Cavness, to me felt, I also connect easily to stories, so it's also it's my learning style. But because he delivered his presentation through story, which also Shelley Moore does, and so both of those learning opportunities hit home for me because of the way in which I learn, and I was also, if I was to give one constructive feedback, it would be, let's do something different on that second day instead of 3 or 4 concurrent sessions where you're sitting and deliver in a very crowded room. And I wasn't as engaged that day as I was Thursday night with Chief Cavness, and all day Friday with the World Cafe. Just a little plug in for Shelley Moore. She defended and successfully defended her doctorate yesterday or the day before.
Nice.
Go Shelley.
Dr. Moore.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you, April. Lisa, you're up.
Hey, sorry, technical difficulties. I get a new laptop Zoom drains the battery. So I totally enjoyed it. It was great. I went and poked at some humans and put my name forward for the peer review committee for the framework. I've already been involved in the early years framework, so I took a plunge and was like, hi, I've done this before, so please pick me and I'll help out there. What else did I also talked to a couple of the early childhood educators that are trying to figure out how to bring the preschool components into how it's going to unfold, shall we say. I didn't so much enjoy the World Cafe on the notation that I had to get up and move quite frequently. That was really hard on me as a human, but I enjoyed the dialogue and conversation, but the intermix, we were all kind of, it took a while to get everybody entrenched in what the expectation was. And I had a couple of other minor little notes: whole health, whole child needs, and holding hope. That's a plate, and getting to know everybody was really great, and getting to meet well, I got.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Lisa. How about staff? Do you like to weigh in? Danielle?
Sure, I'll jump in,
Oh,
and
Chris?
I'll just thank all the board members for being so engaged and just being so lovely to be with. I really enjoyed getting an opportunity to get to know all of you a little bit better, and to just see what was pinging in your brain, given all the stuff we were exposed to. I too was so impressed by Chief Cadmus. So now we are going to try and bring him to our district. Don't know when that's going to happen, but we're definitely inspired by the message. I think it's one that we all need to hear. And Shelley was on fire, and never heard it presented so well, and I was so impressed. And it stuck with me. You know, it's the work of this district but I think she captured it so well, that inclusion of identity and reclaiming the term disabled, which is what the community would like to do, and to remind everyone that students and people with disabilities are not broken. So that was so powerful. And, that's been resonating. So I'd like to share, you know, get that out in our district as well, because so much of our work, I think, has been champion that. It's the reason why we're so focused on universal design. So why we really believe in the collaborative models of support, in meeting the needs and personalizing for students, individualizing in the classroom, and resisting pullout unless it's something the child determines that they need. So I just felt lots of things resonating, but also lots of food for thought for other areas that we can definitely get excited about. So yeah, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And those keynotes, again, I would love those to be for us at the BCSSA, for school leaders, district leaders, and also for our teachers and support staff. Every staff member sort of really benefited from those keynotes. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just jump in and you know, I was saying to Chris on the ride up here, we were having conversation, and I said, you know, in many ways, we are in the relationship business as a school district, developing, maintaining, and growing relationships. And I found the few days to be a really positive opportunity to do that with this group and getting other folks from other districts. And it was just a really positive experience from that relationship building perspective. As far as the professional learning, I too found it to be top notch. I've been to many different conferences and learning opportunities, and this one was world class as far as I was concerned. The speakers were really appropriately chosen. Some were more engaging than others, as was pointed out, but in terms of the content and the topics, they were right on point and excellent. So I really am grateful for having the opportunity to do a dinner with you all, to be on.
Well, I'm going to say pretty much the same thing. I really enjoyed spending time with all of you and having dinner with all of you. And for me, the highlights were the two key speakers as well. Shelley Moore was hilarious. At the same time, you know, everything she said was, you know, just rang through, and it just, you know, kind of resonated. And then Chief Cadmus was like amazing. So I'm so happy I was able to be there for that. So anyways, yeah, thank you for all of you guys attending, and just happy to spend that time with you, get to know all of you better.
Okay, so I'll with that, I think that's everyone who's in attendance.
Except for you. Did you go, Rebecca?
No.
Oh yeah, you did. Sorry.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Rebecca didn't go.
I'm going right now if you'll stop talking. I just wanted to ensure that I had captured everyone. So much of what everyone has said, I agree. Chief Cadmus spoke at the Canadian School Board Association, and our president, Carolyn Brody, was in attendance, and it was a breakout session. And she's like, no, he needs to be a keynote speaker, and we're going to see what we can do. And I was talking to Gordon Lee about him, and they're like, oh, he's done out for, you know, he's pretty busy. Like, he's got his community to run. And then they, in further conversation, and then he wanted like $1,000 or something. And they're like, no. We pay at least $5 for a keynote, like, you know, your value. And so he made it happen to come out as busy as he is. So that was fantastic. I will say, and I believe Paul was in agreement with me when they had the returning trustees go to the budget process. I think that would have been better suited for new trustees. In my view, I think there were some challenges with the venue, but I think it's a non-starter now. I think we're moving on to somewhere else. And stuff. I just don't think they could have really truly accommodate the size of our group. So, and then the sessions were just jam packed. You couldn't even get in and such. So those are just a couple of takeaways. But other than that, thought it was fantastic for new trustees. Wish had something like that when I started. And because it really does give you an introductory starting point with some great information. And I think that's about it. So, did anyone have any final comments on Academy?
Maybe I'll just interject, sorry, just to say that we got a reminder today in our emails about the deadline for providing feedback. So the feedback that you provided today, if you haven't yet already, please jump into their online survey, because I know they take the feedback of trustees very seriously, because they want to make this as meaningful as possible. So if you haven't yet, I just encourage folks to provide their feedback, both the strengths and the stresses. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, do we have no action items, and that doesn't see if we have any questions of clarification from the public.
Sure, I'll do that right now. Nope, nothing there.
Okay, perfect. Look at us, we're back on track.
We are.
258, and I see that we've completed the business of this